Good afternoon everyone, it's the 19th of the 2nd 2012, Sunday afternoon. This afternoon we saw a severe thunderstorm move up through the Gold Coast hinterland, in through Canungra, Boyland, up towards Logan, and then it fizzled out. You can see on the map that's today's loaded there. It's got -4 lifted index, which is potential for storms there obviously. And I'd like to show you a few things on today. This is the sounding or the plot that is taken in the atmosphere in that area where that thunderstorm developed. You can see it had inflow on the surface from the sea breeze, and then you can see if north was always up on that line, the winds turned from the south. These low level winds are the steering winds of a thunderstorm, up to 700, which is just there. 700 and 800 are your key steering winds of a thunderstorm. You can see clearly on this map they were from the south, so that's the way that in the direction that the thunderstorm travelled. Any of the cloud that was developed up the top of the thunderstorm sort of got moved to the east a little bit. You could see that top of that thunderstorm being moved off to the east. A little bit of instability there with the grey line going above there. Moisture was enough, but it did weaken out and die. Where is it? I'll have to reload it back and I'll show you the thunderstorm on the map. Obviously my browser's done a refresh, and I will show you just there on the map. There was reports at Boyland on one of the HSC reports of quite strong winds. A trampoline got blown out over in the paddock, pot plants over, and some small hail. You can see the orange core where my X is, just there. You can see that that's where the small hail was, and some strong winds in that because of its height, and quite a solid downdraft. You can also see how it tracks from the south to the north, given those steering winds that we looked at on the computer model. So that's how we know which way storms are going to go. For the current water vapour loop, you can see there is a significant amount of water vapour in the atmosphere over New South Wales. They've seen some very large thunderstorms in the area, some dangerous thunderstorms today. You can see this moisture streaming in from the Indian Ocean, also a little bit coming down in through Darwin, wrapping back around it in here like that across the continent over to us here in the southeast, where we're getting an upper level trough reacting with this moisture and causing these thunderstorms, which is going to continue. So I'll move on to Monday at 4 PM. Anywhere that you see in purple is a signature of possibly severe storms. That's very unstable atmosphere. You do have to have other key components with that to produce thunderstorms, but on these particular days it is there, it is evident. You can see this is also coming up into southeast Queensland. So the hot spot for tomorrow would be the entire northeast New South Wales, Northern Rivers area, extending up into the ranges on Queensland, into southeast Queensland, probably south of Brisbane. If we scroll on to the sounding, you can see that the winds there in these key levels are coming a little bit from the southwest. So these storms might move towards the northeast tomorrow instead of due north. They're only light. They might move towards the northeast instead of north, so it might affect, if a storm starts at Boona, it might affect Beenleigh, or if it starts at Gatton, it might affect Brisbane or Sunshine Coast or that sort of thing. So we'll just have to play it by ear where they form. However, this is the bomb precip model for tomorrow, and it's showing, now it's only light, it's only showing less than 5 mil, but these models tend to do that in a thunderstorm situation where it's not a great big, widespread rain area. So you can see the line where the bomb model or PME models is forecasting these thunderstorms to reach up and occur into southern areas of the Darling Downs, southeast coast, hinterland, northeast New South Wales, which I haven't got loaded, but it would be all the way down the coast there. So I do expect some significant severe thunderstorm activity over northeast New South Wales tomorrow. One of the main threats here would be large hail, damaging winds, flash flooding. You've got a massive amount of instability there actually. That's -5 LIs, which is pretty significant. And the thunderstorms down here, this is the northeast New South Wales, they'll be moving from west to east or northeast. So if they start over Dorrigo, they'll head up towards, I'm not good with my directions down there, they'll head towards the coast, towards the northeast anyway. You can see that there. Alright, we'll move on to Tuesday. Tuesday is the big day, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. We have a very large amount of instability, severe instability over southeast Queensland, including Brisbane, Ipswich, probably Toowoomba, Warwick. You can see it on the map where it is. You also have a large area of instability out over the Downs, the Maranoa, Warrego, up around Emerald, stretching up to Bundaberg, a little bit along the coast at Rocky. However, we'll focus on this area here, and particularly the area in southeast Queensland. I've loaded up the 925 winds. These winds are about, I think, at about 1,000 feet, thereabouts. What you can see on the winds here at 4 PM tomorrow, you can see a southeasterly change, a southerly change coming up the coast and wrapping back in. You can see that change tomorrow afternoon is lying across the border area. It's forming a triple point wind convergence. So all the winds are coming in. You've got northeast, south, southeast, west, southwest, and even some north. It's almost a quad point, as Jamie mentioned to me last night. When you get these areas here like this, it forces the air upwards. All the air rushes in from every different direction. It meets in one spot, and it's got to go up into the atmosphere. So that's a potential why you could have this -8 lifted index here, which is a significant point. Very severe thunderstorms possible, or even likely, in this area tomorrow. I'll scroll on to the steering winds at 700. This is going to tell us which way the storms are going to go once they form. You can see that there's quite strong winds, 30 knots, which is 60 k's coming from the west. If something forms at Bow Desert, it'll smack the Gold Coast. Ipswich, Brisbane, Toowoomba, Ipswich, Brisbane. It'll come from the west tomorrow, not from on Tuesday, sorry. And that's the same down here in northeast New South Wales, but there is a southerly change coming up, so they might not get as severe storms there. Even out of the Downs, you've got these westerly winds, steering winds, so anything that forms over here, I do expect severe thunderstorm activity all across this area over the Downs as well. I've got the sounding loaded up on the triple point, and you can see the winds all coming from the west, pushing the thunderstorms towards the coast. You can also see here at the surface you've got a little northeast inflow which drags in moisture like a sea breeze front in the afternoon, comes in, whacks, goes in, mixes up, bang, up she goes. You can see the grey line is the cloud or the lifted index line, and once it goes above this red line it's game on. So up she goes. Look at the gap, massive gap. Some of the values we were punching in here is, well, it's got -6 LIs. Cape is the energy, anything over 1500 getting up there. I've done some values on this setup and I've come out with some around about the 3000 when we change the temperatures and the dew points. Remember, this is a computer, you can change it. So I can put in here 30 degrees and dew points of 20, and that'll make these thunderstorms even bigger. So what you've got to do is try and work